On today's show, Getting Paid to Wait by Resisting Early Payouts. Part one of this week's series on the strategies to maximize Social Security benefits with Social Security strategist and expert Brian Doherty. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician and Insmart. Let's get down to business. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Thanks, Steve. Great to be here.
Well, Brian, you are the niche man. I mean, this is all you do. You're Mr. Social Security. You're not Mr. You do incorporate retirement strategies, but this is where you live 24/7. How did you get involved in this?
I got involved with it the last few years when I worked at New York Life. I was very involved with retirement income planning and training financial advisors on the challenges that people face once they retire. And it was during this time that I started to read some research about Social Security. And up until then, I've been in the business for over 20 years. I knew literally nothing about Social Security. And when I started to read about it, I was amazed at the program itself, how robust it was, what they allowed you to do, some of the features of it. And I also knew that very few people actually knew much about it. And it was at that time I decided I have to go out and educate people and write a book about this.
Now, you have a book coming out pretty much here in the fall, sometime in October, I think it is?
Yes.
And what's the title of the book?
Getting Paid to Wait.
Getting Paid to Wait. Now, I've noticed that I've seen some of your material. Many Americans, the moment they turn 62, they execute the payout stream.
They do. In fact, that is still the most popular age to claim their benefits. Although it has been going down in terms of the number of people and percentages. It used to be well over 50% claimed their benefits at age 62, the earliest they could claim, and they'd lock into the lowest benefit they could receive for the rest of their lives. By age 65, Steve, 75% of people have still claimed their benefits, and by age 66, over 95% of people have claimed their benefits, and hardly anybody waits till after age 66.
Give us the basic 101, because I think people think, well, I paid into the Social Security system forever.
Yep.
I'm now going to get my payout, whether it's 62, 65, 66, depending upon your age. And now I'm just taking that, my wife's taking hers, and that's it. There's no other games to be played, there's no maximization, there's no leverage, and why should I wait?
Well, there is a reason to wait. There's a good reason to wait, although most people don't do it. You're right. I guess the bottom line is they don't think it pays to wait. As you know, they can wait until as long as age 70 to claim, and at age 70, they would maximize their Social Security benefits, and they would receive the biggest monthly paycheck from Social Security for the rest of their lives. A lot of people know that, but they still choose to claim early because at the end of the day, I think they believe it doesn't pay for them to wait. What if I die before I claim my benefits or shortly afterwards? I'm not waiting, I'm getting my money now.
I've noticed that, and my age is a specific issue, as a baby boomer in that certain sector that I was born in, I've noticed that it's 132% of the full retirement age. Mine is 66. If I wait 70, that number, that's like 8% return. I couldn't touch that with anything guaranteed.
No, you can't, especially in today's environment of incredibly low interest rates. And that's why people should seriously consider delaying their benefit as long as they can. Now, what I've done is, in terms of my strategies, I show them the one or two strategies that'll pay them the most amount of money while they wait. It's one of, I think, the most incredible things that Social Security allows you to do, especially with a married couple. Whoever has the bigger benefit should try to delay as long as possible. And while they're delaying, I show them how they can still receive income from Social Security while they're delaying and how they can get paid to wait. I think it's pretty incredible, and I think people should at least consider this before they make their claiming decision.
I went out to the Social Security site about 3 months ago, signed up, looked at my benefits. I saw none of the strategies that you talk about in your book, that you've talked about in your lectures. I see none of these strategies. I mean, so I can't depend on the government to lay out all the options, even though they wrote the legislation on this.
Yeah, yes. Technically, they're not supposed to give out advice or information in terms of what people should do. They can answer your questions, but they can't advise you in terms of what you should do and what's the best strategy to maximize your Social Security payments.
What's really interesting for advisors, and I just really recommend, you need to look at this. If you're in the retirement actual model, if you're doing retirement planning for your clients and that's your main forte in your wheelhouse, you need to start looking at Social Security as the icebreaker and the gatekeeper. This is how do you crash in to get clients. This is one of those, I would say, market penetration tactics that could really help your own practice itself. And of course, you're going to learn about your own product. I learned a ton when I was out on the Social Security system.
Absolutely. In fact, I think if financial advisors look at this and they help clients make this decision, first of all, I think they'll get to them before anybody else does, because most people make this decision totally on their own. I think a lot of times they make a poor decision. They get minimum benefits instead of maximum benefits. And if financial advisors are into or retirement income planning is a big part of their business, this may helping their clients make a better Social Security claiming decision will have a positive impact on the overall retirement income plan, and will position their clients, put them in a much better position to have a much more financially comfortable retirement.
When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about some of the three things that really, why do people continue to go at 62 and not delay? We'll be right back with Brian right after the message. It's not how much money you make for your clients, it's how much money they get to keep, especially in retirement. But retirement income could cause Social Security benefits to be taxed. One tax advantage alternative is life insurance designed as a non-modified endowment contract that can generate tax-free income without taxing Social Security benefits. These contracts offer differing funding options depending upon your client's risk tolerance. For more information on how life insurance can be part of your retirement planning, just email me at steve@downtobusiness.tv. Brought to you by Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Well, welcome back. I'm with Brian Doherty, the Social Security strategist and expert in Social Security. And I really wanted you to consider, if you're in retirement planning, you need to know this, because this tactic, some of the strategies and tactics we're going to talk about all week, could really improve and build out your practice in the area of Social Security. Could be your lead into seminar creation, into radio, some of the things that you may want to do to evangelize to your practice. I think Social Security is huge. Now, one of the three reasons, I was looking at this first one, they hate their job and they just want to retire.
Yes, yes.
I didn't realize that was such an impetus.
It is. Over the last 4 years, I've asked a lot of people that have already claimed Social Security when they did it. And the majority of them did it at age 62, which is as early as possible. And I asked them the reasons why. And one of the reasons was, hey, I don't like my job, I hate it, and as soon as I turn 62 and can claim Social Security, I'm doing it and I'm retiring and leaving the job that I really don't like. And from my stand, there's not much I can do about that, right? If they have it in their mind that they're just going to leave because they hate their job, well, that's up to them. That's their reason. But that is a reason why people claim early.
I'm wondering if they would hate their job worse than when they found out at 70 they could have had a 132% increase.
That may be the case, but a lot of people still claim early because they just want to leave their job.
Well, I saw your number two reason. This is an interesting one because I never really thought this through before. People that are laid off in their late 50s, early 60s, there's really no job to return to.
Exactly, and that happened in 2008, 2009 with the recession. A lot of people were laid off, a lot of them in their late 50s, early 60s, couldn't find a job, desperately needed income, and claimed Social Security at age 62. And that's another reason you can't really do much about. If they need the income and they have to claim at 62, then that's a good reason to claim.
Now, have you seen people that are claiming their Social Security in their late 50s, early 60s because they were laid off? Are they also initiating their retirement plans?
If they have one, yes. Some people, they haven't done the proper planning, and that's probably one of the reasons why they have to claim so early, because they desperately need that income.
Well, I'm thinking about Social Security from the standpoint of, if I'm late 50s, I don't know if I'm employable any longer.
Yes.
I'm going to execute my Social Security. I'm also, maybe that's not going to be enough. At 62, it's not even close to full retirement age benefits. So I may need to start pulling some from my qualified plan if I have it. The third one, interesting, and I can't believe this, in the light of the greatest mortality revolution we've ever had, we actually have people think that they're not going to be around for a long time, and maybe if they had a family disposition for a certain disease, I kind of get that. But talk about this, because that is a major move. I just don't think I'm going to be around.
Yeah, I hear that one. That's probably the second most prevalent reason, is they don't think they're going to live that long. And some of them will do a break-even analysis. They'll compare, what if I claim at 62 or I wait till age 66? If I wait until age 66, that means there's 4 years where I didn't receive any Social Security payments. Yeah, the check is going to be bigger at age 66, but how long is it going to take me to make up for all those years that I didn't receive any Social Security income? The calculation is the same for everybody. If you wait until age 66, it'll take you about 12 years to make up for all those payments you didn't receive, or age 78. A lot of people look at this and say, well, I got to wait, it's going to take me until age 78 before I break even. I don't know if I'm going to live that long, so I'm taking it as early as possible, and I'm not going to run that risk.
Well, again, I could understand if you have short longevity in your family, if you have a disposition for dying before 80, the average, but if you look at the 2001 CSO, the average female rate is like 84, male 81, and that's the average. That's not preferred, non-smoker, that's just the average American. So I think it's kind of short-sighted. I think we're living in the greatest mortality revolution. I think we're going to live a lot longer than we thought. So 78, I think even though and I understand the math, that is the break-even point. What happens when I say, but I'm all in on your idea, if I'm going to wait till 66, I might as well wait till 70 and really see those numbers pop?
They do pop, and if you look at these people that do the break-even analysis, if for especially a married couple, you have to consider it on 2 lives. And you have to look at some of these strategies that'll generate some income while you wait. If you just look at delaying to age 70 and the break-even point moves out to age 80, and I've talked to a lot of people, they know this, but if you look at some of the strategies I recommend, you can actually reduce that break-even point to, say, age 75, 76, 77, even if the highest earning spouse delays until age 80. And as you know, Steve, a large percentage of people live beyond their life expectancy. In fact, life expectancy, 50% of people live beyond that age, and most people don't understand that. That's a very large percentage. And if you're doing a retirement income plan, you have to plan for the possibility that that's going to happen.
Now, when we're doing these analysis, are we even including inflation on these numbers?
A lot of people don't,
yeah.
But I do, and that actually brings down the break-even age. That's something that a lot of people don't take into account when they do their calculation.
I think this is huge. You need to score a timeline, and you really should look at, there's several sites out there that are excellent that'll give you a Q&A. You'll be able to mark your mortality, really do an honest job when you answer these things. I think you're going to be surprised that we're going to be way past the actual break even. And if I throw in, as you just said, inflation on top of that, which I don't think anybody's calculating in the break even.
No.
I think this could be huge. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Remember, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always consult your tax advisor, legal counsel, or your broker-dealer compliance officer. Missed an episode? Just hop out to our video archives. And remember, you could be wiser as an educated advisor. I'm Steve Savant. We'll see you tomorrow.